I dare you, class of 2013, to do better. Those were the words of advice President Barack Obama gave to this year's graduating class at Ohio State University, where he kicked off his successful re-election campaign a year ago. Let's take a listen.
We can always aspire to something more. It doesn't depend on who you elect to office. It depends on you as citizens, how big you want us to be, how badly you want to see these changes for the better. And look at all that America's already accomplished. Look how big we've been. I dare you, class of 2013, to do better. I dare you to dream bigger.
Joining us to discuss this is Amanda Turkle, HuffPost senior politics reporter. Also in our Google Hangout is Ohio State University grad Johnny Wagner. Johnny, we'll start with you. You were there. What did you think of Obama's message?
I thought the overall ceremony was awesome. Graduating college is kind of a sentimental time for both me and my parents. And I think, having the ability to hear the president speak under any circumstances, it's a really rare occasion. So to have him as our commencement speaker, it was kind of an honor, and I thought that there were individuals who had him there that were thrilled that he was there, but then there was some people that were opposed to having him there. I actually saw one kid who had a Romney written on his cap, which I thought was kind of funny. But, political views aside, I don't think you can argue that he's an amazing speaker, and I thought he did a good job of tying a political message in with kind of an inspirational message to send off to a group of graduates. So I thought it was a good ceremony. And
so there you heard Amanda. Johnny, I think you have either the radio on or a feed or noisy roommates or something in the background. If you could just lower that. I don't know if you hear it in the background there. But Amanda, what did you think? What was this politically, in terms of political significance? What was the context here?
Well, it was the type of speech that made young people excited about President Obama when he was running for president in 2008. A lot of young people really wanted to come to Washington to get involved in public service because of that sort of message that he gave, something that President John F. Kennedy obviously inspired a lot of young people in a similar way. So he took the polarization and partisanship in Washington, and instead of just decrying it, he said, look, you are the next generation, you can do something about it, you can make it better. And I think that, again, is the type of message that has really energized young people and got them behind President Obama.
That's certainly true. I mean, hope was very apparent in the wording that he chose, and the way he framed it. To your point, I just want to read one part. In talking about perhaps gun control, at least that's how it was construed, he said, this is a joyous occasion, the graduation, so let me put it charitably, I think it's fair to say our democracy isn't working as well as we know it can, and then went on to, kind of dispel this notion of just thinking that government is a whole bunch of voices that aren't working for you. I mean, do you think that that's going to catch on? Obviously, he's not running for re-election, so what's the motivation here? It's just altruistic?
Well, he needs a lot of support for what he's trying to do, especially on gun control. And this is something where the grassroots can get behind him and can sort of mobilize and energize themselves more. I mean, obviously, these people around the country can't go into Congress and can't pass the legislation, but they can put pressure on their senators. They can show up at town halls, as was happening over congressional recess. And so this was, while inspirational and nonpartisan, I think there was also a message in there that he needs the help from people like these students to get behind what he's trying to do and to get involved in the political and civic process.
Johnny, you're one of those students, perhaps, that Amanda's talking about, especially around the issue of gun control, which is being debated on the national stage as well as in dinners, family homes, so on. What are your thoughts on this issue? I'm just curious. You're muted, unfortunately. Can you unmute yourself in the top right? There you go. Top right, there's a little mute button.
Sorry, am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, sorry. First time with Google Hangout. Never used it before.
There's always a first time.
I think it's kind of one of those things where your political views are kind of where you sit on the situation. I think that had some people that, had been experiencing their kids in these situations that had happened, and they'd feel differently about the subject. So I think it's just kind of where you stand on the matter. I mean, I know it's nothing I've really experienced personally.
Is it something that comes up amongst your friends? Do you guys talk about these kinds of things, or are you more preoccupied with other things? I mean, does gun control, guns, the shootings, Yeah,
it definitely comes up. I mean, I know one of my roommates feels pretty strongly about it. I particularly never really, had much experience with it, so it's not really something I've like thought about. But I mean, I know other issues that affect us completely directly are kind of more prevalent in our kind of topic of discussion day by day.
Yeah, no, I hear that. All right, well, Johnny, thanks for joining us. We're going to move on. Amanda, stick around. Pro-gun activists are planning to celebrate the nation's independence up in arms. The plan to march from Virginia to Washington, D.C. on July 4th is part of an open-carry protest that could bring thousands of illegally displayed weapons into the nation's capital. The event is being coordinated by Libertarian host Adam Kokesh. The demonstrators will be breaking the law since the Capitol does not issue any permits to carry firearms openly or in other manners. Amanda, what do you think they'll actually be accomplishing, if anything?
I don't know if this is really a good idea. I mean, when you try to do these protests and these marches, you try to stay within the law to show that you're peaceful. I'm not sure if breaking the district's gun laws and perhaps scaring some people with all of these these firearms openly displayed is really the best way to go about doing it. And it could turn off some people who maybe are sympathetic with what they're doing. So again, not really sure this is the right decision, because it seems that they could be breaking the law, get into trouble, and cause some potentially dangerous clashes.
Right, and speaking of those dangerous clashes, I mean, any idea as to how you think police might respond? I mean, considering that they will be breaking the law?
That is an excellent question. I have no idea how this will go, but it doesn't seem like it can be good in whatever way it's going to turn out.
Yeah, no, it's certainly true. I mean, especially families who are victims. I mean, I can only imagine how they're going to be responding to this.
And if you don't know what's going on that day and you suddenly see a lot of people marching down the street carrying guns, that can be really disturbing if you have children. Maybe you're a tourist just coming in from out of town. Guns aren't allowed in the District of Columbia displayed like that. And so it will probably be a little disturbing to some people.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we'll have to watch that story. It seems like it's not going to go down well either way. Hopefully it's not too unsafe. Moving on, the National Republican Congressional Committee's website was a bit dysfunctional on Sunday. NRCC.org was hacked, showing links to erectile dysfunction drugs. No one has claimed credit for the attack on the website. Amanda, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't condone hacking, but someone, whoever hacked it, was clearly sending sort of a message, I guess, that, or I suppose, playing into the stereotype that Republicans, it's a party of sort of old white guys, so they have all these Viagra ads. No one has claimed responsibility for it yet. There are a lot of problems with hacking of news organizations. Someone hacked into the AP's Twitter account and said President Obama had been injured in an explosion. So lots of problem with hacking these days. I just want to make clear I do not condone it.
Right, no, I do not condone hacking either, Amanda, but I do condone funny.
It was funny, and whoever did it clearly had sort of a sense of humor.
Right, that was the aim there. All right, thank you for joining, Amanda. Up next, more developments on Chris Brown and Rihanna's relationship.